Hi, my name is Daniela Gersick and welcome to my brand new YouTube channel, Under the Learning Tree. So here you'll find videos for parents and educators and also for children to enjoy. I have some quick tips and tricks and some suggestions for parents, possibly new educators, just to keep activities and learning fun for children. I also will include videos with stories, songs, and activities for young ones to enjoy as well. So it's a place for adults and for children. So welcome. This is my first video, so I'll take a few minutes in this time just to explain who I am and what I'm all about. So I am an early childhood educator. I've worked with children for over a decade now. I have 2 children of my own. I'm also an author. I've written 2 different children's series and a women's fiction novel. They are all available on Amazon.com or .ca, depending on where you're from. And also I am a creator of educational resources on teacherspayteachers.com. It's also open to parents and homeschoolers as well. So you can access both free and paid resources there. I'm also a teacher on outschool.com. So that is a place where you can join for free and register for different camps and classes, and they're all online. So you can work from the safe space of your home. So that's a little bit about me. My website is www.danielagersick.ca. So all of that information, all of my links and more is on my website. So feel free to check that out as well. But for today, I want to start off with a unique video, making a special video for parents and children today. So I just want to talk a little bit about stories and how to use books and keeping it fun and fresh for children at home with parents working with them, and for parents just to kind of de-stress about approaching the subject and keeping it interesting. So for parents, maybe new educators, I would say start with connecting the world around you. If there's anything going on, like a holiday or a special event, or even the season that you're in and what the weather conditions are like, choose stories that might complement those things. So your kids can make some quick and easy connections between what you're reading and also what's happening around them in the natural world. So that's a fun way just to keep it lighthearted and just introduce something new. So I would say maybe start there, especially if you yourself as the parent or grandparent feel nervous about kind of taking a story time to the next step and enriching learning a little bit more at home. So I would say start there. Pick something, or a common interest is another great one too. So if you know that your child has a specific interest in something particular, start there. Choose a book that talks about what they're already interested in, and then you already have their attention and you can jump right into discussing more. So let's say I'm going to sort of combine this with how I would model using stories in a more purposeful way with your children, but kids can also watch too, so that they can hear the story as well. So for example, I have this book here. So Cali Cat Ice Skater by written by Eileen Spinelli, illustrated by Anne Kennedy. So of course we always credit the author and the illustrator, letting kids know that there are specific people out there who are who write books, and then we have, which is of course our author, and then our illustrator is the person who created the pictures. So have a little talk about the book. You know, here's my book. We know who wrote it, we know who drew the pictures, but now am I going to start reading this way? And they'll likely say no, but why not? Explain to them, this is the back cover. So this is the back of the story, or the end. So we're not starting here. We're going to turn it around and start with the front cover. So I'm starting with the front cover, but I wonder, where's my title? So like I said, I read it, but now I want to maybe finger frame it. So I want to take my fingers and I want to show that this is the title. This is my spot. So then that way they know where it begins and where it ends. You might even want to know, depending on the age of your child, where the title begins, every title begins with an uppercase or a capital letter. So, you know, have a little alphabet talk. That the letters inside that make up the inside of the word are lowercase. And then the first letter is capital or uppercase. And if you notice, that is consistent with every word in the title because it is a title. So a name or a title always starts with capital letters. Okay, so now we're going to go inside. And you would be surprised at how many children don't know how to hold a book properly or navigate through the book. So use that as a great way to model it for them and show them. I'm holding it, and we know that this is our another look between, you see how it's similar? Try to make those observations. Encourage them to make observations and see where they can see similar illustrations or words within the story as well. So we have our title page, and now we're going to begin the story. So if you're watching with your child, have them snuggle up and have a listen to the story. And notice as well, as I'm reading the story, I may stop, I may pose a question, I might think about, I might ask them things like perhaps their own connections. Have you ever gone ice skating? I see that she's putting on skates. I wonder if the story will include anything about skates. And you might even want to maybe pose some of those questions before you begin. So you've already talked about finger framing the title, capital letters, the author and the illustrator, and you might even say one general question: what do you think this story is about? Just by looking at the cover and the picture, what do you think it's about? So that can generate some nice, some of their own thoughts about what they believe the story is about. And it's just a nice way to get them thinking before the story has even begun. So here we go. Winter was Callie's favorite season. In winter, she would go ice skating. Callie loved ice skating. She loved it more than chocolate cake, more than her fuzzy red sweater, even more than going to the mall. Oh, I wonder what season we're in. I see lots of snow. And what did it say at the very top? Winter was Callie's favorite season. So we already know we're in the season of winter. Here we go. On weekend mornings, Callie skated by day when the sun was bright and the wind sang through the tall stalks of thistle. During the week, she skated by night when moonlight flowed silvery across her backyard pond and frost dusted the bench where she laced up her skates. Whenever Callie skated, she felt a melting sweetness that had no name. A melting sweetness. What could that be? Callie's friends Lisa and May didn't care much about ice skating. They were always trying to get Callie to do something else. Let's play Go Fish. Let's make bead necklaces. Until they heard about the Honeybrook ice skating contest. Ooh, how do you think Callie's feeling? An ice skating contest? Ooh, that's exciting. Look, cried May, waving the flyer in Callie's face. It's a contest, said Lisa. Ice skating, prizes, a 1-year free pass to the Honeybrook ice rink. New clothes, a ride in a white limo? Wow. They showed the flyer to Callie's mother. Do you want to enter this ice skating contest? Her mother asked. Before Callie could reply, May piped up. Of course she does. She'd be a banana if she didn't, said Lisa. And so it was settled. Oh, her friends are being very supportive of her interest. That's very kind. On weekends by day, Callie practiced ice skating. Do that spin again, called May. During the week, Callie practiced by night. Be more graceful, called Lisa. Finally, the day of the contest arrived. Good luck, said her father. Just do your best, said her mother. Win, said Lisa. Win, said May. Now, win. Everyone likes to win. But is it okay to lose? What happens when you lose? I think that's okay if we lose. That's how we learn. Sometimes when we lose, we make some mistakes. And those mistakes helps us to learn what we did wrong and what we need to keep trying to do better next time. So that's okay. And I'm wondering too, so for parents, this is a great moment in the story to stop and ask your child, how do you think Callie's feeling? Is she nervous? Is she excited? Is she maybe a little scared? Or what about, even if I were reading this to my class, I might even ask, has anyone ever been part of a competition before? Have you joined a sport or something that might actually put you in a situation where you're in a competition too? How did you feel? So those are good ways to generate some conversation and connection to the story. All right, let's see what happens next. Look at how big that is. Wow. Soon came the announcement. All contestants on the ice. The skaters filed out. Callie tried to find her parents and friends in the crowd. She couldn't see them, but she could hear May shouting, "Careful on those spins." Callie was 5th in the lineup. She watched the first 4 ice skaters. The first one danced a beautiful program, but on the last spin, she fell. The second girl twirled herself dizzy and smacked right into the lap of a judge. Uh-oh, that's 2 skaters that have fallen. Let's go this way. The third got the giggles. The fourth burst into tears. Oh dear. Callie began to believe she could win the contest. She thought of the prizes: 1-year pass to the Honeybrook ice rink, new clothes, a ride in a white limo. She thought, I'd be a banana not to want all that. Callie heard the announcer call her name. Let's see. And at last it was her turn. She leaned into the music, pushed off, and glided across the ice. She sailed, she twirled, not one stumble. Everyone cheered. Wow, I wonder how she's feeling now. Is she relieved? Is she happy? I wonder. Callie watched the next 3 skaters. 2 of them were very good. At last it was time for the judges to announce the winner. Callie held her breath. Oh dear. And the winner is Maria Rivera. Oh dear. Let's see. Oh, it wasn't Callie. You did your best, said Callie's mother. We're very proud of you, said her father. Do you think Callie's feeling a little bit disappointed? Maybe. You must feel awful, whispered May, losing like that. She'd be a banana not to feel awful, said Lisa. That night, Callie huddled under her covers. Funny thing was, she didn't feel very bad, or sad, or terrible, only tired. Maybe she was a banana. Or maybe she knows that she did try her best, and that's perfect. The next morning, Callie went out to the pond. The sun was bright. The wind sang through tall stalks of thistle. Callie put on her skates. She stood on the ice. May wasn't there to watch her spins. Lisa wasn't there to tell her to be more graceful. It was Callie, only Callie, by herself, alone. She began to slide across the frozen pond and skate and skate. She began to feel something she hadn't felt for weeks. It was back, and it was better than any prize. And her sun-dazzled blades crisping across the ice gave her a more wonderful ride than any white limo. She knew that the melting sweetness, think back, remember that Callie said her favorite thing was the melting sweetness. She knew that the melting sweetness came from doing what she loved, came not from winning, but doing. The melting sweetness was the best prize of all. And suddenly she knew the name for it. Its name was joy. The end. So I think we've learned a lot from Callie the cat. We've learned that it's okay to try new things like the competition. It's okay to lose. It's okay to make mistakes. But we want to remember that trying our best and doing something we love is the most important thing. So now I'd like to talk to you a little bit about activities. So great story, great lesson. We've talked about how to navigate through a story, work through it, stop and ask questions, make connections. And now I would suggest a few different activities. Now, because we're talking about the winter season, we could start with something simple as a follow-up activity, like this, for example. Now, this is just a plain sheet of just different color snowflakes. So here, I printed this off, and then I would suggest decorating them. So what I have here are some fun ways to be creative using art materials and develop fine motor skills. So by cutting out the snowflakes, coloring each one inside, and then adding your glue, and then adding your sparkle or glitter, are all multi-step directions. So you're also giving your child steps in which to finish the craft. So that's a great way to get them focused and managing a task. Maybe with a little bit of help, maybe independently, but they're still following multi-steps, and they're developing greater fine motor skills, again, with the cutting, the coloring, and the shaking of the glitter. And then if you'd like, you can poke a little hole, add some ribbon or string, and you have some of your own dancing snowflakes. And then I would suggest, if you have a little winter song or something you'd like to search elsewhere on YouTube, you might want to find a song where you can dance around like snowflakes. So this was a great way to encourage fine motor skills and using art materials. Another one, if you have an older child, is incorporating some printing. So I just titled my page, Why I Love Winter, because again, our story was based in winter. So now I want to talk about and think, Callie the cat liked to skate in winter. What might you like to do? So for my picture, I wrote, my sentence starter is what I'd like to call it. So as the parent or grandparent, educator, you might want to start the sentence off depending on the age of the child. And I wrote here, I love winter because, and then ample space for the child to print or trace what their favorite thing to do in winter. So my complete sentence says, I love winter because I like watching the snow fall. So there's my sentence. I was sure to add a period at the end, and again, talk about those things, help reinforce those basic punctuation within printing when sentence writing. So we have some nice literacy support there by incorporating some printing. They can use inventive spelling, which means they're sounding out a word and they're listening to the sound of the letter and incorporating the letters that they think will make up the spelling of the word. Or if you would like, you could also print out the entire sentence and have your child trace over top. Then once again, we did some drawing and I used some gems and some other craft materials to add the snowflakes and the snow. So again, you have some writing, you have some punctuation, some vocabulary and spelling, and also some arts and crafts as well. The other thing I'd like to show you is something with numbers. So if, let's say, you want to incorporate some number work, this is a great one. Again, I just printed it off. I searched winter and numbers, and some great activities can come up. And then basically we're counting the number of snowballs in each snowman and finding the appropriate number. You cut it out, you paste it on. So it could be just that simple if that's how you want to do it, and perhaps color the hat, the face, the arms, etc. Or you can turn it into a fun puppet game so that you can use them over and over. So you can also cut them out. You can use popsicle sticks as the puppet stick, or a straw, a pipe cleaner, toothpick, whatever you have. And you can do a nice little counting game again and again and reinforce the numbers that are here. And if you like the idea of this, you can also continue to draw your own snowman for your children as well. That's another option, and you can go as high as you like with numbers. You can turn it into a memory game as well. So if you have, you know, each number has a double set and you're turning it down, you flip it up. If you found it, hooray, you're the winner. You've got the matching snowman numbers. So there's lots of great ways to incorporate numbers, writing and printing, and also basic arts and crafts as well. This is also one last resource I wanted to show you. It's called Winter Words, and it is a winter word list. It is available on Teachers Pay Teachers and my storefront, and this is a free resource. So if you wanted to go right now, let's say, and log on, create an account, access my store, and print it out, then you would be able to have your child practice printing. These are dotted lines. So you could print each word, have them print each word, and then they have the actual realistic picture of that word. So they can continue writing winter stories or sentences, or even just practice printing the word by using the different pictures about winter dressing, winter food, winter sports, things that they might see like snowflakes, icicles, snow, a snowman. There's lots of great words and pictures to explore. So like I said, that is a free resource. But then there are others if you'd like to incorporate one of those into your home time reading and story time experiences. So yeah, so I hope that everyone has enjoyed my first video, and I've given you some interesting ways to keep storytime fun at home. And like I said, relax with it. Relax, bring in some of your child's interests and common things that are around you within nature, within holidays, events. Keep it fun, lighthearted, and then these activities will be just a natural excitement. Most kids love a follow-up activity, so I would suggest taking it one step further, even at home, and try out one of the activities with your children. It's great family time as well, and it's a good way to teach young children the really good core skills that they're going to need later on, either in school or as they get older. So, so I'm Daniela Gersick. Hope you enjoyed my first video under the learning tree, and I hope to see you again. Bye for now.